Hello, I'm Rhonda with LivWell Seniors. So what happens when there's been a hospitalization and mom is not able to go back home? And the physician has told you that she's not safe to be at home. You already know that she's not safe to be at home. What are your options? This is where you're going to have to act quickly and respond quickly. So LivWell Seniors can help you with identifying those solutions because, again, we're local. We help families get connected to those senior living options that meet their criteria that they're looking for. I don't need to tell you this, but this is a very stressful time. So it's important to be able to work with a resource like LivWell Seniors that can help you understand what's going to be most important in identifying the right solutions for your loved one. So again, we're going to put ourselves in this situation where we need to make a decision very quickly. We have about 48 hours to determine where mom's going to go and how safe and be put in a safe situation. I recently worked with a family that needed to work through this process. There were a couple of adult children that were involved in mom's caregiving concerns. One was the power of attorney for financial, the other one was the power of attorney for medical. It was important to keep them both in the loop so we understood where mom would need to go and what level of care that she would need to be at. Understanding mom's budget is super important because not all communities are created equal, and we need to make sure that we're guiding and directing the family to the right senior living options that meet their budget, but also their personal preferences and their level of care needs. Identifying the budget is pretty basic, but it can be really overwhelming because people don't know what questions to ask their loved ones. So we need to understand what assets are available to pay for care. We need to understand what's the monthly income that mom has coming in. Is it just Social Security? Is there a pension that she gets from either herself or maybe a deceased husband? Are there other monies that come in on a monthly basis from an IRA or a stocks or bonds that she's getting monthly or quarterly dividends on? So that's first, we want to understand what her monthly income is. But then also, what are her assets? What does she have available that could be liquidated in order to fund her future care needs? Whether it's in stocks, bonds, CDs, IRAs, things of that nature. And then, of course, the biggest asset that most people have is their house. Is their house free and clear? Do they have a mortgage still on the home? Or are they able to sell the home and utilize all the funds to pay for their care? Another consideration would be veterans benefits. Many people often overlook that there are monies available for veterans and surviving spouses of veterans. And that can be a difference maker for families to be able to utilize those additional cares, to be able to pay for assisted living. So in helping this family, we were able to quickly identify what monies were coming in, what monies were liquid. I was able to even offer assistance with their financial advisor and talk with the financial advisor to understand what monies were available for this particular situation. And because we understood what levels of care mom would need, we were able to walk through, okay, if mom needed minimal level of care, this is how much we're going to need per month. If she needs the highest level of care, this is how much she's going to need per month. And that was helpful to just deliver a forecast of how long will her monies last. We also have to take into consideration, how old is mom? So are we talking about somebody who's a little bit younger, who just needs some help with basic activities of daily living, and just to be able to have a quality of life at home or in a senior living community? Or are we talking about somebody who maybe is advanced in age, and they have quite a few health ailments to consider, and how long their monies will last or need to be lasted? So once the budget was established and identified, LivWell was able to connect this family to a couple of senior living options that met their budget, that met their level of care need. And we were able to schedule tours and take this family to see both places, to see, what felt right for them. And that was very helpful because, again, we were working with the parent. She really wanted to be a part of the decision because this is obviously the rest of her life that she's talking about, and then kind of keep the adult children at bay a little bit. Even though we understood what their care considerations were and what their care concerns were, we were putting mom in the driver's seat, which I think mom really appreciated because, again, this is her decision. And we want to make sure we're honoring mom in what she desires for her future care needs and what she needs. So mom was able to go and look at the senior living option. She was able to choose the apartment that felt right for her and say, I really think this apartment fits me because I want to bring my 2 hutches, my piano, and my favorite chair. And I know that it would fit perfectly in this apartment. That's when you get the buy-in from mom and how she feels about where she's going to be, or dad, or grandma or grandpa, where they're going to be spending their next chapter of their life in. So that doesn't always happen that way, where mom can be or dad can be the one to go and tour. Sometimes it's a situation where we're in more of a crunch mode, where mom's in the hospital and she's not able to take a look at the options, but she's trusting her children to make those decisions for her. So that is important to note, that it doesn't always get to be that way, but if we can have those conversations ahead of time, again, that's more important to be able to do that, but it doesn't always happen that way. So after we've toured a couple of communities and have talked about what felt good to the family, what did they like, what did they not like, the family is able to effectively make a decision based on those tours, based on the cost of care. And next we talk about the transition, what's next. An assessment has to be done and scheduled from the community, so they have to do an assessment. So we're able to make sure to facilitate that and make sure the family gets the proper assessment done in the proper time. The other thing that's going in tandem with that is, how do we move things? Family members aren't always available to move things, or maybe they're not able to move things. Maybe they don't have family that can help them move items. So we can connect them to some moving and downsize people that can come in and help pack those things and unpack the items into the home. And in this situation, this is what we did. We were able to connect them also to a real estate agent, because they did need to sell the home in order to fund mom's care long term. It doesn't stop with, well, I've identified the place mom needs to go. Actually, there's some work that has to be done on the back end too, to keep things moving forward all the way to the end. So this can happen as quickly as you need it to happen. So in this particular situation with this family, it was less than a week that we were able to identify and the right option, understanding the budget, understanding how long mom's monies would last, and connecting her to the resources that she needed in order to sell her house, to downsize, to sell her car, all those things that she needed to do in order to make a move, because the adult children had to go back to their respective homes and work within a week's time frame. So it can happen very quickly. And some people, if they are ahead of the curve and they're planning, can take months or longer to make that transition happen. So if you're in a crisis and you need somewhere to go and home is not an option, you can identify the right resource and implement a care plan within a community within 48 hours, depending on the availability. Again, that's where working with a senior resource specialist with LivWell Seniors, we do understand who has openings, who has availability, and who can meet the needs if it's necessary to meet those care needs within a shorter time frame. If we have a little more longer time frame to work with, then that might open up your care options and care considerations a little bit more. The family actually was able to share their story with me after the whole process, helping me realize that they couldn't have done it without me. They never imagined that they were able to get through the process of identifying a senior living option for mom, getting connected with the right real estate agent, getting connected with somebody who could move their items, who could dispose of their items, and even sell their car. They were surprised that they were able to get that done in just a week's amount of time. And of course, just eternally grateful that they were able to accomplish that in that short amount of time. So in this situation that could have been very stressful, it really made it a smooth transition for the family. They were able to really focus on mom and her care needs and her care desires. And it was a win-win for everybody, because Mom got to be a part of making a decision that she didn't really want to make, because it's a difficult decision to make. So it's really great for me as a person who provides these services, is the simple things that I get as a thank you. And this particular family sent me an apple pie after helping them walk through what they expressed was the most difficult time in their life. What's so important to note is that the family was able to get back to their regular daily living, back to work so quickly, and not have a whole bunch of loose ends that they had to tie up and take care of after they left. That is something that they had expressed to me over and over. They don't know how they would have done this or accomplished all of these tasks in such a short amount of time. So LivWell Seniors is a free information and referral service. Again, we're connecting families to senior living options when they need it, whether they're in a crisis or they're in a planning period of their life. You can connect with LivWell Seniors at 563-265-1577. You can also reach us on our website at livwellseniors.com. That's LivWell Seniors.com. We're here for you nights and weekends. You can connect with us anytime.